Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be exploring Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar, specifically Chapter 6.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is, right? So much to unpack. We're going to follow Esther Greenwood as she navigates 1950s America, and, well, she's really starting to question everything she thought she knew about societal expectations.
It's such a pivotal point in her journey.
Absolutely. And her relationship with Buddy Willard adds a whole new layer to her self-discovery. It's actually through a seemingly ordinary event that Plath reveals what's simmering beneath the surface for Esther, a hospital visit.
Right. It starts off with a bang, doesn't it?
It really does. Esther visits Buddy at the hospital where he's a medical student, and she finds herself strangely drawn to the, well, less glamorous side of medicine.
Her reaction to the cadavers is fascinating.
Yeah.
She describes them in such vivid detail, almost detached, but you can sense a subtle discomfort there.
Yeah, like when she mentions her elbow burning against one of the bodies. It's a small detail, but it hints at something deeper, don't you think?
Definitely. And then there's the room full of preserved fetuses. Most people would be horrified, but Esther describes them with this odd sense of curiosity.
It's like she's trying to distance herself from the reality of what she's seeing, maybe even using humor as a coping mechanism. Like when she points out the one with the piggy smile. It's dark, but it's also insightful.
It makes you wonder what's going on in her head. Is it morbid fascination? Is it a yearning for knowledge?
It's like she's searching for something real, something authentic in a world that feels increasingly artificial.
And then things get even more intense.
Oh yeah, buckle up because they're about to witness a live birth.
This scene is so powerful. Plath doesn't shy away from the graphic details, and it really captures the societal views on childbirth at that time.
You're right there in the delivery room with Esther, experiencing the woman's pain, hearing the doctor's instructions. It's chaotic, it's visceral, and it's pretty tough to read, especially the language used to describe the woman's body and the birth process.
It's very dehumanizing, highlighting how medicalized childbirth was back then.
Exactly. And then there's that chilling description of the pain-numbing drug.
Right. The one that would make the woman forget the pain, but only so she could go home and start another baby.
While that long, blind, doorless, and windowless corridor of pain was waiting to open up and shut her in again. It's a bleak outlook on motherhood, and it really makes you think about the cyclical expectations placed on women during that time.
And that image of the newborn baby, flowered with white stuff and streaked with blood, it's so stark and visceral.
It's juxtaposed with the fear Will, the medical student, has of dropping the baby.
Such a powerful contrast. And then something unexpected happens. The baby urinates on the doctor.
You'd think that would be the most shocking part, but it's Esther's reaction that really throws you for a loop.
She says, "Wonderful. I could see something like that every day." It's not the response you'd expect after witnessing such a raw event.
It's almost like she's trying to convince herself that she's tougher than she feels, or maybe she's trying to detach herself from the whole experience. But then she goes on to describe this idealized version of herself as a mother, pale and beautiful, effortlessly bonding with her baby.
Such a stark contrast to the reality she just witnessed.
Right. It's like she's clinging to this romanticized notion of motherhood, almost as if to distance herself from the messy, painful reality.
It really makes you think about the pressures women faced back then and how those expectations could clash with the actual experience of motherhood.
Oh.
And speaking of clashing expectations, Buddy drops a bombshell of his own.
Oh, yeah, he does, doesn't he? This is the same guy who's been pushing Esther to be more sexually experienced while presenting himself as this perfect gentleman.
The irony is thick.
Well, it turns out Buddy had a fling with a waitress the previous summer. And not just a one-time thing either. Esther really presses him for details, and it comes out that they were together a couple of times a week all summer long.
It completely shatters the image he's been carefully cultivating.
It definitely paints a different picture of Buddy, wouldn't you say? And it's this hypocrisy that really gets to Esther. It's not just about the act itself, but the blatant double standard, the pressure on women to be pure while men get a free pass.
Absolutely. It's a huge wake-up call for Esther,
Yeah.
a moment where she starts to see through the facade of their society and the expectations placed upon her. And then just when things couldn't get more complicated, the phone rings.
Oh, this is where things take an unexpected turn.
Fate steps in.
Buddy's on the line, and he has news. He's been diagnosed with tuberculosis.
Quite a blow for someone who always seems so healthy and in control.
Right. This is the same guy who insisted Esther's sinus issues were all in her head. But here's the real kicker. He invites her to come visit him at the sanatorium. You'd think she'd be devastated.
Right. It's her fiance.
But she's not. She feels wonderful relief.
It's a very complex reaction.
She even thinks maybe the TB is some kind of karmic payback for his hypocrisy. It's like she's shutting down her feelings for him, protecting herself from further hurt.
It's almost as if she sees his illness as an escape from the relationship, without having to deal with the messiness of a breakup.
A way to maintain appearances while secretly feeling liberated. Wow, what a roller coaster, right? We've only just scratched the surface of Chapter 6, but it's already so packed with insights into societal expectations, double standards, and the complexities of relationships.
It's amazing how much Plath packs into this one chapter. I'm already hooked.
Me too. What stood out to you the most so far?
You know, it's Esther's reaction to Buddy's diagnosis that really gets me thinking. What do you make of it?
Honestly, I'm struck by how she uses humor to cope with these intense experiences, these glimpses into the darker side of life. It's like she's trying to find a way to navigate a world that feels increasingly unsettling.
It definitely adds another layer to her character and makes me even more curious to see how she evolves.
Me too. But we'll have to save that for part 2. Stay tuned as we continue to unravel the intricacies of the bell jar and explore how Esther's experiences shape her journey. You know, it's interesting how even though Esther puts on a brave face about Buddy's diagnosis, there is a part of her that doesn't buy it. Like, deep down, she knows it's not the whole story.
It's like she sees right through him. Now, maybe it's that cynicism she's developing, especially toward Buddy.
And she's hyper aware of how people are treating her differently, everyone being extra nice, assuming she's heartbroken, but she's not.
She feels relieved, right?
Exactly. But she has to play the role of the heartbroken fiancé, even though her true feelings are way more complicated.
It really highlights that performative aspect of social interactions, especially back then for women. It makes you think, how much of our behavior, even today, is shaped by these unspoken societal scripts?
That's a good point. It's like we're all in this play following these predetermined roles, and for Esther, the script she's been handed, well, it just doesn't feel authentic anymore.
It seems like she's starting to realize that, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. She's at a crossroads, her disillusionment with Buddy, her morbid fascination with the hospital. It all points to a shift in her perspective, a questioning of everything she thought she knew.
The seeds of rebellion are definitely there. She's waking up to those limitations and hypocrisies, and I don't think she knows what to do with that newfound awareness.
And let's not forget the impact of that childbirth scene, such a visceral experience.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a microcosm of the larger societal forces at play, the way the woman's body is described, that focus on the medical aspects instead of her experience.
It all points to a culture that was trying to control women's bodies and roles.
It really makes you think.
It's almost like Plath is holding up a mirror, forcing us to confront our own assumptions about gender roles and societal expectations. A bit uncomfortable, but in a good way.
I agree. It pushes you to think critically.
It makes you question those messages we've all internalized, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. That's what makes the bell jar so powerful and relevant, even today.
It's not just a story about one woman's experience. It's a commentary on the human condition.
That struggle to find your identity in a world that often tries to define you.
Before we move on, what resonated with you most in this part of the chapter?
You know, it's Esther's growing cynicism that I find fascinating, like a defense mechanism against the disappointment she sees all around her.
Do you think it's a necessary stage in the process of self-discovery?
I think there's definitely an element of cynicism involved in challenging the status quo, questioning those norms and expectations we've been taught to accept blindly.
Sounds like a stepping stone.
Exactly. A way to break free from those ingrained beliefs before you can start building something new.
And you think that's where Esther is headed?
I think so. She's on the brink of a major transformation.
She's shedding her old skin, getting rid of the illusions that have been holding her back.
Creating space for something new to emerge, preparing the soil for a new kind of growth, a more authentic, self-directed life.
I love that analogy.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
So even though Esther is going through a tough time, there's hope in her cynicism. It's not just negativity, it's about paving the way for something better.
I think that's a beautiful way to put it. And it's a message that resonates with anyone who's ever gone through a period of disillusionment or questioning. It's a reminder that even in the darkest times, there's always potential for growth and transformation.
That's such an important message, especially for our listeners who might be going through their own journeys of self-discovery.
Absolutely. It's something we'll see even more clearly as we continue to explore Esther's journey in the next part of our deep dive.
I can't wait to see what other insights Plath has in store for us. What about you? What are you most looking forward to exploring?
I'm particularly interested in digging deeper into Esther's relationship with Buddy. Now that the facade has cracked, I'm curious to see how their dynamic evolves and how their individual journeys of self-discovery might intersect.
I'm with you on that, and I'm curious to see how she navigates the aftermath of those hospital experiences. Will she continue down this path of cynicism and rebellion, or will she find a way to reconcile her disillusionment with the world around her?
Those are great questions. They'll lead us to some fascinating insights, but for now, let's pause and take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed so far. What stood out to you most in this part of our exploration?
Honestly, it's the idea that cynicism can actually be a form of hope.
I love that perspective.
By questioning everything, by refusing to accept the status quo, Esther is creating the space for something more authentic to emerge.
It reminds us that even in the midst of disillusionment, there's always potential for growth and transformation, and that's a powerful message to carry with us as we navigate our own journeys.
It's like we're all in this together, constantly learning and evolving, and the bell jar provides a roadmap for that journey with all its complexities and contradictions.
Beautifully said. Now, dear listener, we invite you to join us in this journey of reflection. What resonated most with you in this part of our deep dive? How does Esther's story connect to your own experiences? Take a moment to ponder these questions, and we'll continue our exploration in the final part of our deep dive.
Welcome back. It feels like we've really gone through it with Esther, her. Those experiences at the hospital, her changing feelings about Buddy, her growing disillusionment, it's a lot.
It really is, and it's left her at a crossroads, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like she's about to break free from all those expectations that have been holding her back, those old ways of thinking.
That's a great way to put it. She's ready to define her own terms, write her own script. But it makes you wonder, what if she hadn't had these experiences? You know, the childbirth scene, Buddy's confession. Do you think she would have continued down the same path, or was this kind of awakening inevitable?
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's impossible to know for sure. But those experiences, I think, they were catalysts, however jarring.
They forced her to see the world differently.
Right, to confront that disconnect between her own desires and what society expected of her.
Like those cracks in the bell jar we talked about.
Exactly, letting the light in, giving her a new perspective. And what's so powerful about Plath's writing is she doesn't sugarcoat any of it.
There's a rawness, a real honesty in Esther's voice that can be a bit unsettling.
But it's so relatable, isn't it?
It really is. It's like she's giving us a glimpse into that messy, sometimes painful process of self-discovery, and it's not always pretty.
It's definitely not for the faint of heart, but I think it's an important read, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. It challenges us to look inward, examine our own beliefs and those messages we've taken in from society without even realizing it.
And it reminds us that self-discovery, it's not always a straight line,
It's messy, unpredictable.
full of detours,
Yeah.
but it's about finding your own voice and living a life that feels true to you.
So in a way, even though the bell jar deals with some pretty dark stuff, there's a sense of hope there, wouldn't you say? That even when we feel trapped, there's always a way to break free.
Absolutely. I think that's what makes it so enduring. It reminds us that we have the power to define ourselves, to challenge the status quo, and create a life that aligns with our own values and desires.
That brings us to our final thought for you, dear listener. If Esther could step out of the bell jar and into today's world, how do you think she would react? Would she see the progress we've made, find comfort in that, or would she still feel the weight of expectations, even if they look different now? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
It's an important question to consider because while we've come a long way since the 1950s, the fight for equality and authenticity continues.
Esther's story, I think, serves as a reminder that we need to be vigilant, to challenge those norms that limit us, and strive for a world where everyone can be their true selves.
So beautifully said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the bell jar.
We hope this conversation has given you some new insights, some food for thought, and maybe even inspired you to revisit this incredible book with a fresh perspective.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop breaking free from those bell jars, whatever they may be.
We'll see you soon.